Hi HOD Creatives, welcome back to another exciting tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how you can make different types of bonnet cap. I'll also be sharing with you the right measurement you can use for both adults and children. This measurement is perfect if you are making for personal use or you're planning to start selling. Stay tuned and make sure you watch till the end of this video because you don't want to miss any details in this video. So if this is something you know you really want to learn, let's get right into the class. Welcome back. So we're going to be making that bonnet cap you just saw on your screen, and there are 3 types of bonnet caps, and these are the materials we are going to be using. You need your measuring tape, your fabric, your scissors, pin, and all that. So I'm going to be using a shining face satin. This is shining face satin, and I'm using this color and this color, and this is an Ankara fabric, that's African print fabric. I'm also going to be making use of this, and this is for the band of one of the bonnet cap, and it's a scuba material, flowering scuba material. So you can use elastic. If you can get a 4 or 5 inches elastic, you can use it, or even if it's 3 inches elastic, you can use it as the wide elastic band. And you can also use any stretchy fabric. You can use this scuba, you can use the light scuba, you can use raw silk. That's as long as it's stretchy. That's for this band, for the band of the one that has band. So let's get right into the measurement, and if you wait to the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you some measurements. Even if you want to make for children, I'm going to be showing you some measurements. So if you stick around and wait to the end of the video, you get to see that. So let's get right into the measurements. So the first one we are going to be making is the one with ruffles, the one that has ruffles at the front, and we are going to be making use of these 2 fabric and also an elastic, your scissors, and your pins. Let me get my scissors and my pin. Okay, so we are going to be making use of the first one. So your scissors, your pin, and then your chalk for that. So the first measurements you are going to be needing, let me start with this. So you just take your fabric. These fabrics are 1 yard of shining face material, just 1 yard. So you can just buy 1 yard. If you don't want to mix the color, 1 yard is enough for one bonnet cap. But if you're mixing the colors, you need 2 yards. You need 2 yards. Half yard cannot cut this style, so you need 2 yards. So you measure 40. You can see I folded it into 2. I folded it into 2. Let me get a bright tape proof. Okay, so that you can see it properly. So I folded it into 2. So, and I have 14 inches. That my tape was matching this fabric. So you folded it into 2. I fold it into 2. I get 14 inches this way, like so. So the next thing is to fold it again. You measure 14 inches. This is 14 inches, and you fold again. So I'm going to be making use of 14 inches for this cap. You can go as low as 12 inches if you don't want it that big, and if you want it bigger than this, 15 inches is fine, but you can't go more than 15 inches. 15 inches is, well, you can also go more than 15 inches if you want it very, very big, which I don't think is necessary. So I'll just pin it here, and I'll pin. So, and I'm just going to mark my 14 inches round and cut out. That's all. So you just place your tape this way, and you go ahead and mark your 14 inches all the way around, just the way you see me doing. And most of the other style, this is what we are going to be doing. It's just the measurement and the sewing, the way of sewing, that is going to be different. So take note of that. So I just go ahead and measure my 14 inches all the way around, which is what I just did, and you have something like this. So when you're done with this, you just cut out. Let me transfer this pin here. So you just cut. Just cut it out. So you can also use lining to make it reversible, but I'm going to be using this for the reversible part, so that when you turn it to the other side, you're going to be seeing blue, and when you turn it to the other side, you're going to be seeing pink. So I'm just going to fold this into two like so, and make sure I have up to 14 inches here. It's not up to 14 inches, so I'll make sure I have up to 14 inches here. Good. So I'll just go ahead and arrange my fabric, and I'll take this and I'll open it up like this. You can see I'll place it on it and I'll cut. So this is what we have, and I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So I'm done with the cutting of this. So the next thing now is to take it to your sewing machine. So you just open it up. So you place your front facing front. So your front facing front. So this is the front of my fabric. So the both front facing each other like so. So you just pin it down. So when you're done pinning, make sure you pin before you sew. It's very important. So when you're done pinning, you just take it to the sewing machine. Sew on half inches all the way around, but you are going to be leaving 2 inches. You're going to be leaving 2 inches opening, because we are going to be bringing it out from this point. So you just leave out 2 inches or 1.5 inches opening. So now I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. I'll start from this marking. I'll sew it all the way around, and I'll stop here. I'll stop here. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine now. I'm going to stitch it, and I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead to sew round, and this is what we have. So, and I also went ahead to trim out the excess. So this is the opening. Now you just find your way to the down of the other side, just like this, then bring it, then pull out. It's as simple as that. So when you're done, you can go ahead and iron. Especially if you're selling it ready to wear, you have to iron so you make it neat. So when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and iron now. When I'm done ironing, I will do the markings on it, and I'll bring it back for you to see. So I'll just go ahead and iron. When I'm done ironing, I'm going to mark from this point here. I'm going to be marking 1 inches. You can make it 1.5 inches. You can make it 2 inches. Depends on how big you want the ruffles. Depends on how big you want the ruffles. You can make it 1 inches. You can make it 1.5. You can make it 2 inches. But note that the more you go in, the more the ruffles at the front will be big. So, but this case, I don't want it big. I want it just normal. So I'm going to be using 1 inches. So I'm going to mark this 1 inches round. Then from that 1 inches, I'll mark another 1/2 inches round. So I'm going to go ahead and do this markings, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead to iron it out, and when I was done ironing, I went ahead to mark my 1 inches. So I marked the 1 inches all the way around to this point. So take note of this. This is still my opening here, and I marked it from here round back here. So there's still an opening here, but this 1/2 inches that I marked here, this is 1/2 inches. So this 1/2 inches, I marked it round. So now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine. I'll start my sewing from here. I'll sew all the way around. Stop here. There's still opening here. But for this 1/2 inches, I'm going to sew it round. So when I'm done, I'll be back. The next thing, we're just going to fix the elastic, and we're done with this one. So I've gone ahead to sew it round, and this is what we have. So my opening is still here, and this, I sew it all the way round. So you take your elastic. The elastic I have here is 16 inches, 16 inches elastic. So the standard, this 16 inches can fit any head size, but if you want, you can increase yours. So you just pass it through these half inches, then you pin this part down so that the whole elastic does not go into the channel. So you continue. When you're done pinning that, you just go ahead and pass your elastic through. You can make as many as this and you start selling. There are a lot of people on TikTok and this is the only thing they sell, this bonnet cap. Just this bonnet cap. And the fabric to make it is not that expensive. In my side, this shining face is around 1,100 here. So I don't know about your side. So, and just 1 yard can make 1 cap if you're making reversible. So when you're done and you're out, just take the boat. Oops. Okay. It's kind of going on. So just tie it. Just make a small knot. Very small. Then, so if there's excess, just trim it off. And that's it. So we are done with this first one. So this is what we have. So I'll just take it to my sewing machine, and this part that is open, you just close it up and we are done with it. And if this 16 inches elastic is too wide, you can make use of 15 inches or 14 inches. But I feel this, the one with band, and we are using the same satin fabric, and I've gone ahead to cut it. This is what I have here. Cut out 12 and a half. So I cut out the 12 and a half all the way round. And for the band, I cut out 12 inches on fold, which gave me 24 inches. So I've gone ahead also to sew it. Now this is the length is 24 inches and the width is 8 inches. 8 inches. So I sew out half inches, and what I have left now is 11 and a half, which is 23 inches. Why I'm using this 23 inches is because this fabric is not that stretchy. But if you have a very stretchy fabric, maybe like lycra, you're using like lycra, 22, 21 is okay. 22 inches, 21 inches is okay. So, but this fabric is not that stretchy. So that is why I cut out this exact head circumference of 23 inches. The head circumference is 23 inches. So I just go ahead and fold it into 2, which is what you're seeing. So I just fold it into 2 equal parts, like so. But then I just pin it to keep it in place. You can also go ahead and stitch to just keep it in place, so that it does not keep moving or changing. So this is what we are. So for this, you just take it to your sewing machine and run a gather stitch. You can use your machine for the gathers. You can also use your needle and thread to gather it. So I used my machine. So next thing, I'll start pulling the gathers. You can see. So you just pull your gathers just this way, or you use your needle and thread and run your gather stitch round. So by the time you're done doing that, make sure what you have round is up to 23 inches that you have here. This 23 inches you have here, make sure you have something like that too. So I've gone ahead to, I run my gather stitch. I use my needle and thread because that other one was not working at all. So when you're done, you just go ahead and measure. So I'm going to start from here. Just measure it round and make sure you have 23 inches, which is the headband. Yeah, I have 23 inches, so I'm good to go. So when I'm done, I'm just going to lock it so that it stays in place. So you just lock your stitch. So I'll just cut out the thread. When I'm done, I'm still going to lose this thread out. This thread here, I'm still going to pull it out. When I'm done stitching, I will pull it out. So this is what we have, and I'm just going to pin it around this. So you start pinning. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it around for you to see. So I've gone ahead to pin it round. So I'll just take it to my sewing machine and I'll sew it round. So I've gone ahead to sew and also trim out all the excess, and then you take it to your weaving machine and you will weave it. If you don't have a weaving machine, take it to the people that weave clothes and they will weave it for you. So that's for this, and this is what we have. Now if you want this part bigger, you can make use of 14 inches, you can make use of 13 inches. Remember, we make use of 12 inches here. And for the band, this is, I use 4 inches, and after sewing I have 3.5. But you can use 3 inches, you can use 2.5. Depends on how you want it, depends on you, it's your choice. So this is for this, and I told you earlier that you can also use elastic for this, the wide elastic. That wide elastic, you can use it for this also. So these are the cap we make so far. We made this is the first one, and there's the second one, this is the third one. Now for these caps, like this one, you can use net also to create it, just like this. You can see this is chantilly net, and I used doll face to line it. You can use lace, any kind of lace to make this. And also this is silk fabric, this is silk, and this is shining face to line it. You can also use dochet. You can use dochet. Dochet too is so beautiful for bonnet cap. So like I promised in the beginning of the video, that I'm going to be showing you some measurements if you're going to be making it for ready to wear to sell. So this is for adults, and this is head circumference. This HC stands as head circumference. So for adult, head circumference for adult is 22, 23, 24. But you can use 23 if you're making a ready to wear. Since it has elastic, it can fit all head size. So this 23 is okay for adult. And we need just 2 measurements to make bonnet cap. We need the head circumference and the length. That's the length of the cap. So you can use this measurement. Then for the length, you can use 11 inches if it's a small cap. If it's medium, you can use between 12 and 13. And if it's big, you can use from 14, 15, 16 upward. Depends how big you want it. And for children, we have age, then the head circumference, and then the length. So from age 3 months, that's from like one week, 3 months to 2 years, you can use 15 inches to 18 inches for their head circumference. And the length, you can use 7.5 to 8 inches for their length. That's the folding. You can use 7 to 8 inches. And from 2 years to 6 years, you can use 19 to 20 inches for their head circumference and 8.5 to 9.5 for their length of the bonnet cap. And for this 7 years to 12 years and above, you can use any child from 12 years, 13 years, 14 years. Their head is like adult head. So you can use 21 inches to 22 inches. They are between 7 years to 12 years. You can use 21 inches to 22 inches. And the length, you can use 10 inches to 10 and a half. Depends on how big you want it. But any child from 13 inches, 14 inches upward, you can use 23, you can use 22, 23, just like adult size. Any child from that age, that's a teenager, can wear an adult head, an adult bonnet cap. So this is the measurement, so you can screenshot it or you can write it out and save it. So the last one, I've gone ahead to cut the 2. I'm using African prints to reverse it. So I used 12 inches also for this, 12 inches, and I take the 12 inches all the way around. So both the 2 fabrics. So, and this is the handle that we're going to use. So I have 35 inches and I cut out 2. 35 inches in two, and the width of it, that's the length. So the width is 6 inches. By the time we fold it, we'll have, because we are going to fold it, so when we fold it, we'll have 3 inches, and by the time we are done sewing half inches out, we are going to have 2.5 inches left for the band. So that's for the band of this. So what we are going to do now is to bring this together like so. We pin it. So we are going to be sewing this way. So you just sew it, and that's for this. Now for this is the, let's say this is the front and this is the back. So from this folded part, you are going to be cutting out. Let me turn it to the side so you can see it clearly. So I'm going to get a chalk. So you just mark 1 inches here, 1 inches and 4 inches deep. Then you just connect it this way, just like so, and you cut it out. So you have something like this. So can you see it? So now you take it to your sewing machine. Now this, we are not sewing right facing right, no, you are sewing it this way, the wrong side facing the wrong side, wrong to wrong. So you place it on each other like so. So I'll go ahead and pin. When I'm done pinning, so I'll just start first. Okay, before that, first fold it right facing right. Then you sew from here like so, like this. See what I'm saying? So you're going to sew like this. So this way. So I'm going to sew it now. I'll bring you back. So I've gone ahead to sew this part I explained. You can see. So I sew it this way. So it's, I went ahead to notch it. So you notch, just notch like this. Then you turn it to the other side. So you just turn it to the other side, and you have something like this. So you can see I have not sewn this. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take this to the sewing machine, and I'll sew it all the way around. Now this sewing I'm going to sew, I will not lock it. It's going to be like a gather stitch. If you don't want to sew it that way, you can also use your needle and thread and just run your gather stitch, just like we did for the other one. Just run your gather stitch, but I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew it all the way around, and I'll be back. So I've gone ahead to sew. I run 2 lines so that my thread will not cut on the way. So I'm going to gather it now. So I'll just pick 1 thread from here and 1 from here. So I'll just start gathering it. So I'll go ahead and do that. You just keep going like that, and by the time you're done, make sure you have your head circumference. If it's 23, you are using. If it's 22, if it's 24, just make sure you gather it to that 24 inches. So I've gone ahead to gather it, and I have 21 and a half, but including this opening here, so it's wide enough. Now here is the rope. I've gone ahead to join it here, so I fold it into 2 and I ironed it. So I'm just going to fold it into 2 now, and this part I'm going to slant it. It's optional if you want. It's not compulsory, it's optional. So when I'm done with that, now this part has zoom as the middle now, so I'll just fold it into 2. I have 22 inches there. That's this place, this gathers that I mentioned, that I measured now is 22 inches. So 22 inches divided by 2 it's going to be 11 inches, right? So I'm going to mark that 11 inches. So this is the 11 inches. So I'll just mark this 11 inches and I will notch that part that I mark. So I'll just notch it this way. I'll notch it like half inches notch. You can see it. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine now. First, I'll turn it to the wrong side. So I'll sew like this from this notch that I have here. I'll sew it all the way down. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side. I'll bring it out to the right side and I'll be back. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew. I sew it and I bring it out and I ironed it. So if you want to sew your cap neat, to make it neat, and you don't want to weave it, this is the method to do. This is how to do it. This method, you are going, when you are ironing, you know, remember we notch this part. So one of the side, you pick one side and you iron it inside. See the way I iron it. Now this part that we did not iron inside is what we are going to sew first. So you are going to place this part like so. You want to place it like this all the way around. Like this. So you pin it from this end. That's one piece. You are pinning just one pieces of it. Remember, it's two pieces. So we are pinning one piece. So you're just going to pin it all the way around. And then you take it to your sewing machine. You sew it round like this. You sew it round like this. That's one. That's if you want to make it neat. So when you're done sewing this part, before you now sew this on it. But if you don't want to sew it that way and you want to weave it, all you need is just, you don't need to sew this one down. You just bring the two together like this, and then you sew it all the way around. Trim out the excess, then go ahead and weave it. But I want to make it neat, so I'm just going to go ahead now and I'll sew this and I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead to sew the parts. So you see, now the next thing is to turn this on it. So I'm just going to put it on it this way and I'll stitch it all the way down. So by doing this, my inside is neat and my outside is neat. When I'm done, I'm going to remove this thread that I used for the gather. I will remove it. So as you can see, I have the inside is neat and the outside also is neat. So let me go ahead and do that. So here's the third one. So we are done. So the inside is neat and the outside is neat. So please use a matching thread when you are sewing yours. Don't copy me. I'm just using this thread for the sake of the tutorial. So use a matching thread. So this is what we have, and you can just tie them to the front or to the back, anyone. So this is what we have. So for this fourth cap, that's the fourth bonnet cap, I'm going to be placing the link on how to make this cap on the description box. So you can, I'm going to be placing the link on the description box on how to make this last one, this fourth one. So you can just click on the link in the description box and watch how to make this, so that this video does not go too long. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.